Leafs Nation, I wanted to wait for a Jays off day to talk to you guys for the season review and off-season preview for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I did so, and here we are. Now, there are lots of things I want to discuss here, but I don't want to make it too long of a video. First off, let's start with the season review. It was a failure of a season. Plain and simple. They were not good enough. They lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And still, in the Matthews and Marner era, they have not won a playoff series. It's been 4 years now. The Washington Capitals series, the first time through with Matthews and Marner, I get them losing that in 6 games. I get that, because they've never played in the playoffs before. It was kind of like a surprising year, and you lost in 6. I understood that. I applaud them for fighting as hard as they did that year. I get that. The next year against Boston, you had the third period lead, or the late second period lead, and you blew that, and you lost in Game 7. But you did get to Game 7 one step farther than you did the year prior. Then Boston last year, not good enough. This year, you lost in 5 games to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not good enough. The team has to be better. They have to play with some heart. And I'm watching these playoff teams right now and seeing, okay, what do they have that the Leafs don't? They look eager to win. I mean, did you watch that Dallas and Colorado game today? Those teams are flying around out there. Come back here, answer this, and it was crazy to watch. This team has to have fight. And I'm not saying drop the gloves fight. They have to play hard, and they haven't. At least not enough. You look at Colorado, and look at Nathan McKinnon. I saw almost level a guy. Would you see Austin Matthews do that? You'd see him hit him, but not go through a guy like that. Gabriel Landeskog, their captain, had 12 hits in the game. At least 12 hits in that game today. Do the Leafs have anybody, talent-wise, that would actually go out there and do that? No, they don't. Mitch Marner wouldn't do that. Nylander definitely wouldn't do that. Tavares probably wouldn't do that. They need guys who can go out there and put in work, grind, claw, do what they need to do, be able to score some offensive goals, but be able to play sound defense and win you games. Now, obviously that doesn't mean defensemen. Now we're going to segue kind of into the the off-season preview for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And obviously with the Kasperi-Kapanen trade happening a few days back, it's the first domino to fall for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we did hear, over the last couple days, that the Leafs are now dangling Frederik Andersen, Pierre Engvall, Alex Kerfoot, and Andreas Johnsson out there to teams to kind of see what's out there. Frederik Andersen is a big one because he's on the final, this upcoming season, the 2020-2021 season, is the final year left on his contract at $5 million. You know he's 30 years old. He's going to want a pay raise. What are the Leafs willing to do? I don't know. Alex Kerfoot just got a deal just before the season this year. And I think it was like $4 million. Well, that's quite a bit of money for a third-line centerman. Again, it could be a guy that you move. Andreas Johnsson's making about that Kasperi-Kapanen money on that third line. And Pierre Engvall, I'm not really sure why. I think he might actually be making a little bit more than that. He might be like 2.5 or something like that for Pierre Engvall. But all I know is that the Leafs are serious about making changes. At least from what we've seen so far and what we're hearing to this point. Now, forward core, again, everyone wants to trade a guy like no one wants to trade Matthews, but guys like Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares. One of those guys, everyone's like, they have to go. And clearly Kyle Dubas is not wanting to do so. You guys can yell at me, you guys can do what you want, but in the end, it's clear as day that Kyle Dubas does not want to make a trade to get rid of one of those guys. Because he's dangling out everybody else, right? And I don't know if that's going to work. I don't. The free agent market for defensemen is pretty dry. I'm going to quickly go through. My phone's at 1%, so I'll quickly go through the defensemen. All right, so here we go. Alex Pietrangelo, Tyson Barrie, Justin Schultz, Torrey Krug, Andy Green, Semi Vatanen, TJ Brody, Chris Tanev, Dmitry Kulikov, Jonathan Eriksson, Travis Hamonic, Justin Braun, Ron Hainsey, Radko Gudas, Brendan Dillon, Jay Bouwmeester, Trevor Daley, Joel Edmondson, Mark Pizik, Derek Forbert, Kevin Miller, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Matt Hunwick, and we can go on and on and on with other guys. Zach Bogosian's on there as well. Guys that could make an impact on this team. There are guys there. More or less the depth guys, the guys like Zach Bogosian. And I really wanted the Leafs to sign him back when Buffalo let him go. I really wanted the Leafs to kind of give him a shot. Obviously, Tampa got him, and he's clearly working pretty well for them as they're up 2-1 in the series against the Bruins. And I don't think the free agent market is the way the Leafs are going to kind of get their decor. I think what they're going to do is they're going to go trade market. I truly believe that's where they're going to live this offseason because of the flat cap, and we don't know how things are going to go in free agency. You can't really bank on that. The Leafs are opening up cap space, but if you in your right mind think they're going after a guy like Alex Pietrangelo, you're crazy. Because he's going to want huge money for term. And do the Leafs really have that type of flexibility to make a deal like that? They don't. They really don't. I love Jake Muzzin. I love Morgan Riley. Those are the only two guys in this decor that I even have any faith with. I don't. Holy smokes! Those are the only two guys that I really have faith in. Yeah, you know, Travis Dermott. He's all right. He's a top 6 guy for me. He's your bottom. You know, he's your third pairing left side defense. That's my guy. But other than that, those 3 guys. If you go into next year with Marincin, Hull, or Ceci on your decor, you're not going anywhere. It's plain and simple. Justin Hull maybe on that bottom 6 pair. But other than that, you should not be doing that. Because you're not going to win that way. A guy like Justin Braun, a guy like Zach Bogosian, guys who have been there, done that on the defensive side of the puck, that have size, that aren't afraid to play physical, you got to get guys like that. The Leafs haven't. They just haven't. Jake Muzzin's great. He's the type of guy you want, but you can't pay those type of guys that type of money. So you're going to need guys with a little less talent. The problem is, who's going to play with Morgan Riley? The guy in his career has played with Ron, or like in the good part of his career, Ron Hainsey and Cody Ceci. Give the guy a legit guy to the right of him that he can add is sound on the defensive side of the puck, that Riley doesn't have to do end-to-end rushes just to get back into the play on the defensive side of the puck because he doesn't trust his guy on the other side. You know, things got to change on that back end. Whether it's moving a guy like Frederik Andersen, I don't know. You've heard guys like Braden Holtby, whose contract's up at the end of the season as a goaltender, and the Capitals would probably not be opposed to moving him for something. Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry of the Pittsburgh Penguins, we've heard their names rumbling around. Did the Leafs go out there and maybe kind of swap Frederik Andersen for one of those guys? I have no idea. I have no clue. If you guys have any ideas about who you want to go after, fine. If you want to keep Frederik Andersen and revamp the decor and get it actually pretty good in front of him, then great. But if you want to move from Frederik Andersen, what do you do? There are so many guys that like the decor and the goaltending situation are the big question marks for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. The forward core I'm not worried about. I really am not. Because you got to realize that, yes, you lost Kapanen. You also have Nick Robertson, who clear as day proved to us in the first couple of games of the playoffs, this kid's ready to play. That was game 3. It was game 3 or 4 games that he played. I think it was 4 because Andreas Johnsson came back in for game 5. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's what happened. He's ready to go. So there's one of your wingers right there that you can plop on that third line to start the season and go from there. The Leafs have the forward depth. They need to use that forward depth to move. And don't be surprised if that first round pick they acquired in the Kapanen deal gets moved for a defenseman. Don't be surprised. Kyle Dubas has something up his sleeve. We're not too sure what that is as of yet. Only time is going to tell, but I'm excited to figure it out. If you guys have any mock trades that you guys want to let me know, any guys in free agency basically that I mentioned, or if I didn't mention any guys, you know, in the free agent list that I went through, let me know, guys. I want to hear your guys' take on this team and what you think they should do moving forward here. Because look, we all know changes have to be made. Moving Kapanen is a good start because you did well in your return, but that's only the first domino to fall. What's next? I want to hear your guys' take. Let me know in the comments below, all right? So, you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are excited to see what the offseason brings for the Toronto Maple Leafs, let me hit that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video. Thoughts on what I've already talked about. Anything that I did not mention that you guys wanted to hear, let me know in the comments below. Anything that you want to see this team do moving forward, trade this guy, any mock trades you have for me, let me know in the comments below, guys. Twitter is down below for myself as well. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram link is down in the description below, so follow up there if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Leafs edition, whenever the heck they make a deal, because it's going to happen at some point. Raptors edition, I'll talk to you guys, I'm assuming I'm gonna guess it's going to be on Saturday, as the Raptors are probably going to take on the Boston Celtics in Game 1. I'm not too sure when it's going to happen. We'll probably figure that out over the next few days. But I will post to you guys the Round 2 preview when we do find out when the Raptors will be playing next. As for the Blue Jays, assuming they're playing tomorrow against the Baltimore Orioles at Salem Field, in probably the biggest series of the year for the Toronto Blue Jays. Alex Cobb is on the mound for the Orioles in that game, and I'm assuming it's going to be Ryu. He was supposed to go today, so he's probably going to be pushed back to tomorrow against the O's for Game 1. All right, so guys, thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. All right, and if I forgot to mention something that you wanted to hear, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.